Initially I knew that I wanted to go back to grad school, so I started researching, and I ended up choosing the K-State program just for a variety of reasons. One, it was online, which made it very flexible for me to still have a full-time career, but it also provided the opportunity to come on campus and network and engage with my peers and with the faculty here as well. And also just wanted to stick with a university that had a strong reputation and especially had deep roots in agriculture.
It's important for YCC to get our group of prospective leadership from the beef industry together and spend 10 days traveling in Denver and visiting NCBA national office and going out to different companies that are prominent here in Colorado, in addition to going to Chicago and seeing some good things with some very prominent companies there, and then ending up our 10-day trip in Washington, D.C., going through our NCBA DC office, as well as making a visit to the Hill offices and visiting our elected politicians and agency folks to visit. And all this helps develop and gain the knowledge for future leaders here across our nation within the beef industry.
You know, when I first walked in, from the first day we walked in at the social hour, just looking around the room, and I thought, these are my people.
I wasn't expecting this type of people or variety of people. There's all different kinds, and yeah, it's just been awesome. I've learned a lot, I've seen a lot, met a lot of new people.
My main takeaway from YCC is the people. The opportunity to meet people and learn what they're doing from one coast to the other. We've got cow-calf producers to feedlot producers. I mean, it's a vast difference, but to know we're all in the same game, we're all running to the same endpoint, it's a pretty eye-opening experience.
Even for someone like me who was raised on a commercial cow-calf operation, being able to see everything from pasture to plate really reveals how important the beef cattle chain is and how unique it is compared to other livestock and other protein that are grown worldwide. You know, there is no industry like the beef cattle industry.
Each segment needs to be a promoter of the industry as a whole. So for me, I understand their challenges, and I want to be one that can help ease that challenge so that the industry moves in a manner that is beneficial to the whole chain.
If you want to go anywhere in this industry, you need to learn everything about it, gate to plate, just like we did. You need to spend time with Capitol Hill, learning the issues.
Almost 3/4 of us have never been here and actually worked with the legislative part of our business, which is actually huge. But that's not what we want to do, because we want to be out there ranching or farming and running cows.
We may work hard every day and may think that someone else is doing it for us, but I believe we need to have that communication link at state level, at national level, to where they know what our thoughts are, our concerns are, but it all comes down to communication, because when it comes down for them to make that vote, they want to know what their constituents are thinking or what their concerns are. So you do need to work hand in hand to where they can make that better decision for the industry.
So you need to be able to get out in front, build those relationships with your congressmen, let them know how important it is. Sometimes it feels like policies are being created to run production agriculture out of the U.S., and the last thing I want to see is us become a nation that's dependent on food from outside of the country.
The D.C. part of it was huge. It really hit home that these issues, they're all important. No matter if they don't even affect my operation, they affect the entire beef industry. And so that really hit home to me here in DC, that we could have an effect, a positive effect. And I believe we did and we will in the future.
Well, I think it's really important that the people who are making our laws and legislation, who have an impact on the daily lives of our producers, get to meet them firsthand so they can gain perspective on a personal level rather than just what they read or hear about.
We need young leaders in the industry. We always need more voices here in Washington, D.C. Producers have a really strong, powerful message and a cool story to tell. So, any opportunity to engage and advocate here in Washington, D.C., I would encourage them to do so.
What happens today affects our future. Our fathers paved the way, our grandfathers paved the way of where we're at today. But it's our responsibility to ensure that the industry is not only here for us, but it's here for our children and the next generation. And the people that are going to shape and influence that is the producer of today.
The lifetime experience this will offer up, and then who knows where it'll lead to in the future. I'm an example of just the average rancher being engaged at the local and state and now national level. And if I would have had that opportunity to get engaged 30 years ago, that'd just be more beneficial for my family operation as well as my state cattlemen's organization.
We definitely need new leaders coming up. The leaders that are in place right now are doing a great job, but they're getting older, and we just need some new young blood, fresh, progressive thinkers in there coming up and to take the reins here in a few years when the leaders of today can't do it anymore.
We need to be able to tell our stories, and if we don't get our younger people involved, they're not going to be able to tell their stories, or they're not going to have a story to tell.
I know as a producer that the consumers want to hear from us, and I think that this is one step that we are making in the right direction.
Everyone wants to hear our voices, whether it's in DC for legislation, whether it's a consumer wanting to hear about how we're raising cattle. Everybody wants to hear our voices. And that's what we have to do to get our voices out, is we have to go share them with the people so our voices are heard properly and words aren't put in our mouths that aren't true.
There's a gap that has to be bridged there, and people in my age range have the opportunity to do that at this point. We grew up without our cell phones in our hand, so we know how to talk to those older generations. We grew up with those people, but we're also technologically savvy enough to also communicate with those younger groups.
But this industry gave back to me, so I need to give back to them. And with a growing population in the world, it's the only thing that I see where I can make an impact.
Man's always got to eat, and so as long as people continue to need food and nutrition, then there's going to be a role for everybody that's on the trip this week.